So this new person that I'm talking to, which I'm no longer actually talking to, this isn't the reason why I'm not talking to them. And when I say talking, I mean like canoodling. They told me the other day that they didn't believe, or that they didn't think that bipolar disorder or having bipolar disorder is like, they didn't say that it wasn't real, that they didn't believe it was real, but they were like, basically they didn't believe in the genetic factors, the genetic predisposition, or they didn't believe in the fact of like medication and having the need to take medication. They basically, from their point of view, they see bipolar disorder and mental illnesses as a whole, as something that you can like work through with therapy and like pulling yourself up by the bootstraps, and that like you can cure it and it will just be gone. And like, while they're not wrong, the motherfucker is wrong as fuck. Like literally, it's. Where do I begin? Because I'm sick and tired of people who don't have mental illnesses. Rather, I'm sick and tired of people who don't live with a certain disability telling somebody who has the disability, or talking for the people who have the disability, and essentially judging what is true and what is not true. Like, that is weird as fuck to me. While part of what they said is true, I even asked them to clarify, because I was like, okay, yes, I have bipolar disorder. I'm not saying that it makes me immobilized. I'm not saying I can't do shit in life. I'm not saying that I can't, move on and learn coping mechanisms and be on the right medication and like find the right balance and have a happy life and do all the shit that I want to do. I never said that. But at the same time, like, it doesn't just go away. It gets easier to deal with. And this motherfucker, they were like, nope, that's just not what I believe. That's just not my opinion. And I'm just like, how do you have an opinion on a fact? And let's just like put everything aside. Like, sometimes, people really do grow on and not have to live with like medication and blah, 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 blah. Everyone's bipolar disorder is different. But to ascribe that that's the same for every single person, like, from my understanding of it, and I don't fucking know, and I don't assume to know, from my understanding, people who are like psychotic and hear voices and see shit, like people with bipolar disorder or just have other borderline or, schizophrenia and shit, like, they can't just will themselves better. Like, that's not how that shit works. And it doesn't just go away. Like, that's not how that shit works. That doesn't mean that they can't have fulfilling, badass lives and be a badass, but like, you can't just, it bothers me so much, you can't just like decide in your mind what you believe is true and then say it's true. Like, that's not how that works. And they kept on saying, well, that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. It's like, okay, well, that's like me saying, in my opinion, because do people still say this? In my opinion, climate change does not exist. In my opinion, racism does not exist. It's like, okay, well, yes, you're entitled to your opinion, but your opinion is wrong. It's bugging the shit out of me. I think what really just like, it wasn't even the fact of their opinion. Because, again, there's lots of different theories, lots of different methods. Like, there's lots of different bipolar disorders. Like, everyone's bipolar disorder, everyone's mental illness looks different. For depression, you very well can, like, will yourself out of it. Some people have treatment-resistant depression, and you can't. But, like, and there's severity levels to each mental illness. I'm not saying it doesn't go away. Like, some mental illnesses can be worked on through therapy and they go away and you never deal with it again. Some of them are like very specific to environments. Some of them are genetic. Like, what they said was not incorrect. That's not my problem. My problem was the blanketed statement for everybody, because I guess when I gave an explanation as to why I do stuff when I'm manic, or like we were talking about basically me being hypersexual and me being a fucking hoe and being unsafe and all these things or whatever. And they basically thought I was trying to blame my wholeness on my bipolar disorder, which was like, no, I take full responsibility and full accountability that I was unsafe and that I was a hoe and I was out here in these streets. But the explanation as to why, because that's very unlike my normal self, or rather my in touch with reality self, the explanation is that I was manic. And by saying that, I'm not trying to like remove the blame. Like, it's still, I'm still to blame, But it's explained, it's an explanation as to why that was. It wasn't necessarily because I wanted to be out here in the streets fucking. It was because, bitch, I was manic and hypersexual, and that made me want, because I was manic, to be out here in the streets fucking. Like, that's why. It's all that means. It doesn't mean that, like, oh, my wholeness is erased, or it doesn't mean that I don't take accountability. It's like, no, it doesn't mean any of that. I don't think when people with mental illnesses are explaining or describing what's going on with them and why what's going on with them, like, it's an explanation, not an excuse. But that's not even the fucking part that has me so fucking pressed. I don't understand how people can have opinions or have a stance on something by making it up. Like, you have to have had, like, at least people who don't believe in, like, gay marriage, or people who are, like, racist or whatever, they have some weird stance on, like, the way the world works. They have some weird, like, oh, white people are, like, the greatest, blah, 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 blah. And they have reasons for it. It's not just, like, I think this. This is what I believe. They have, the science that they're rationalizing, the science that they use, the studies that they're using, the debates that they're using, whatever the fuck evidence they're using to make their dumbass claims, at least it's some type of evidence, no matter if it's grounded in some bullshit and researched in some bullshit. It could be all wrong, right? But they have something bringing to the table. You can't just, like, think something and believe it that strongly and have it dictate your actions and blah, 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 blah from fucking thin air. Like, I'm trying to recenter myself and realize that not everything has to be said or argued or validated, because I know what the fuck I know. I just got back home from a night. I went upstairs, handed the people that live upstairs, my parents, the mail. I then was about to go lick down the stairs to where I go, and my dad stops me, and he's like, hey, he said something about, like, you're never getting the point, you're never, like, understanding the point before actually making the point that he's trying to make. I'm like, okay, but what is your point? And he was referring to a conversation that we had the other night about, I basically came to him and I asked him, because he's an audio technician, or used to be. I asked him a sound question. And the question was, hey, when you are recording video, like, for example, if I'm shooting video of a live event and I want the sound to be crisp, if I'm shooting the video, right, is the sound from that mic, like, if someone on the stage is talking on a mic, is that sound being recorded, like, straight into a system, like, straight into, let's say, I'm not sure what the fuck you call it, and that's what I was trying to explain to him, that, like, I don't know what it's called, but, like, a little box or something somehow, and then to the computer, like, it's being straight recorded into, like, the system, so that when you have the audio, it sounds clean and crisp, as though it's coming straight from the mic, because not obviously, but I don't have that capability. So when I shoot live events, the audio that I'm picking up is not straight from the mic. It's just like how this is, So you're going to hear what I'm saying, and while it might be focused a little bit, you're also going to hear that bird, the wind chimes, the wind. You're going to hear everything else, right? And I don't like that. I was more so just curious about, like, just trying to learn. And he made it so fucking complicated. Like, it was this whole thing. Number one, he couldn't even really necessarily explain it. Like, he went off on this whole tangent, didn't really explain it very well. And then when he was talking about syncing up audio and video, he made some comment like, he was like, oh, you can do this. I forgot exactly what he was saying, but basically, the woodpecker. Basically, when it came to his understanding of syncing audio and the video together, so, like, if I had my audio track separate here and I sank the video so that that doesn't look like, the lips are off or whatever, he was like, oh, but you're not that good. And this is the shit that, like, I'm talking about. Like, offhanded, out-of-pocket comments like that. Because, number one, what do you mean I'm not that good? I can do anything I really set my mind to. Number two, that's not hard because I've done it before. And then he made some other comment like, oh, well, how long were the videos? And I said, well, they are short form videos because most of the things I do are for social media. Like, what the fuck are you saying? Like, that's like, you're not that good. Because it was just like, what the fuck? I didn't want to get too much into that argument because I was like, you know what? Obviously, he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. Obviously. So just let it go. So when I came back today, this is another day, like, you know, it's today. That was like yesterday or 2 days ago. He started talking about how, I guess, like, when I brought up the social media fact, because I guess somehow he equates the fact that social media video is not real, and then he brought up the fact that I use my, like, phone to shoot things, and then I'm not sure how that relates to syncing audio. Again, he doesn't make sense when he fucking talks sometimes. Like, he brought up all these different things that just don't make any sense. I was asking him a question about audio. Then he started bringing up about how I'm not that good enough to sync things, and then how, like, me using social media and using my phone is different from what he would do, and therefore I guess it's not as legitimate, which means which means that I am not that good somehow, I guess, or whatever. But then today he was saying that he thought I was saying that sound is different, like the way sound on social media is different than sound somewhere else, which that, like, he does not. And this is why I said it's fine. And like when he was saying this, I was like, Dad, that's like, number one, your comments are out of pocket. The one last night was out of pocket. You coming here and saying that I never get the point before you've actually made a point, because you never make a point because you don't make any sense. It's out of pocket. Like, and you can't even like argue with him to get your facts in because he's not going to hear you, because he does not understand, nor does he half the time understand what the fuck's coming out of his mouth. So you can't necessarily shut him down. You can't like period him. You can't be like that. You can't be like period. Because he's not going to get it. He's going to say what he wants to say, and he's going to argue something that does not, it's so hard, y'all. Because it's like you're talking to him and things will make sense, and then all of a sudden, like, I don't even know where he got that comment from. That somehow I came to him and I said that sound is different in social media videos than like it is elsewhere. No, I don't know. But the point is that there's no point in arguing. Like, I just get so upset. I'm not upset. I'm more so just like frustrated because I'm just like, you don't make any fucking sense. And you think that you do. You think that you ate. And you're gonna continue that. Like, you're gonna continue to think that you ate, and you go throughout life thinking that you ate, and that you have this construct about me and what I think and what I know. Like, now upstairs he's thinking, probably not like generally thinking like right this moment, but like now he has this idea that like that was my question, because that's a stupid ass statement, that sound has somehow changed, like from like a movie to like social media. I don't know. Now he thinks that, which is like, no, bitch, I'm not, like, what? Now he thinks that of me. And there's no proving him wrong. It's just like, I'm frustrated because it's like, you think I'm an idiot? You must think I'm an idiot. Number two, like, this is like, it deeply bothers me that like he does, both of my parents, my aunt, my adoptive mom, and my father, that don't like give me my flowers for the shit that I have done. And they think that they know everything about everything. And I'm not saying I know everything about everything, but like when they're talking, the way that they basically say and period, like I know what the fuck I'm talking about, and they shut it down, and they think that they're eating, they think that they fucking left no crumbs. They do this by saying, oh, I know the industry, I know the business, I know this, and you don't know what you're talking about. That's how they do it, without putting any warrants, any like facts, anything, any evidence, anything. It's just like, that's like me saying like, oh, I do YouTube, so I know what the fuck I'm talking about. You don't know, like I've been here for this long, blah 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 blah. And I'm just like, do you not think that maybe out of the 60, 70, however the fuck old y'all are, years, that things have changed dramatically? I'm not saying that I'm like self-taught. I didn't go to school for any of this. But like, you can't say that I don't know what I'm doing, and I don't know, like I'm not a professional within this industry, when you want me to go get the W-2s and the checks and all the shit from Netflix, Warner Brothers, Instagram, like Facebook. Do you want me to go get the shit that I'm hired for and show you? Because what makes it professional? They're always going to be right. So there's no point in arguing. No point. And it's so fucking hard. And I don't know why it's so fucking hard. It's not that I want to be right. It's just that I have a thing with people not making sense. Like, I will be humbled. I will 100% sit down and have several seats on any given day if I am wrong. But somebody thinking that they fucking know, like, what is up, and they are so confident. They're so just like, yeah, bitch. When in reality, you don't make any sense. Like, you don't make any sense. Like, it's just like he really thought when I went upstairs, when I went up there just now, he really thought that he had a point that was made. Number one, starting off the conversation with, I never get the point without making a fucking point. There was no point made up there. He really thought that he was about to, like, say something about, like, me and my thinking and the way that I think and how it's wrong. That deeply bothers me because, bitch, you didn't say anything. You didn't say anything valuable. And I just, like, have a hard time letting that shit go. There needs to be retribution. I literally just told him, I was like, okay, Dad. Okay, I was like, that's not what I said. He said, yes, it is. I'm like, no, it's not. It's not what I said. But okay. Like, okay. Just like, I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to sit here and argue with you because the argument is stupid. It's pointless. You can't argue with someone who doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about. So while I haven't quite come to terms with this whole idea, I'm realizing that I have some type of deeply rooted problem with needing my parents and needing authoritative figures' validation. Like, in order to feel validated, I need them. And I always preach this. I literally always preach about, like, don't need anyone to validate your stuff. You can validate your own damn self. Like, validate yourself. Fuck everybody else. I apparently have a problem doing that with my parents. Maybe it's because, they weren't there. Maybe. Probably something trauma related. But yeah, not ready to unpack this. But, like, having gone through this far and been editing this video, that's what it sounds like. And I just wish I could just relinquish it. I mean, I can, but, like... This is the weird ass fucking shit that occurs in this household. In this household, I mean, my father's house with, like, my father and stepmom live here, and I'm living in their fucking basement. This is the weird shit I'm talking about. So, I was gone since last, like, Thursday afternoon or Thursday evening, right? Bitch, I don't know. I was just gone from let's just say I was gone from Thursday to fucking today, which is Sunday, right? Now, apparently, so I pay my dad a certain amount of money for utilities, right? Basically, I'm not going to be here for the entirety of September, right? So this was like maybe September 1st, August 31st, whatever it was at the beginning of the month. I sent the money to my stepmom, the amount that was due for the utilities that I would be staying here with. I'm not going to be here for the full month, so I prorated it. If I sent you a certain amount of money and I told you that I prorated it, this was 4 weeks ago, there should be no confusion on the day that I'm moving out, because that's what happened here. They're texting me saying, like, hey, come get your dog. I know you're supposed to be out of here by Monday or something, which is not, again, it's not even fucking Monday. I know you're supposed to be out of here by Monday. Like, what's going on? Come get your dog. Like, why is yours, like, I need to clean up the room downstairs, blah, 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 blah. So, like, there's a few issues I have that with. Number one, why are you trying to, like, rush me out of the house? Number two, if I sent you a specific amount of money and I told you that it was prorating, like I was prorating the amount, it's not rocket science to take however much money I would normally pay for a month and divide that by the number of days. That would tell you exactly which day I planned on leaving. So that's the part that, like, I don't like things that don't make sense. Things that do not make sense, because I would have never said the 22nd because that's not the date. Like, I have to work. Like, that's just not, like, that just wouldn't have ever come out my mouth. That doesn't make any sense. So, but regardless, if that was the date that you thought I was moving, the money would match that date. Don't y'all think, like, am I tripping here or not? Because if I, like, that, so there was a whole conversation on that, and it was like, well, no, you said this, and you said this, and you said that, and you said this, and I'm like, bro, regardless of who said what, basically 3 weeks ago, I sent you money that would have cleared all of this up. There's no, like, if I was moving on the 22nd, then the amount would have matched the date leading up to the 22nd. Instead, no, it matches the 28th. On top of that, the memo on the Zelle, like, you know how I Zelled her the money, the memo on the Zelle says week through the 23rd. Doesn't even talk about the 22nd. Because I knew that I wouldn't be moving the 22nd. So it's like, okay, regardless of what you heard, not only did I say in the Zelle memo when I was moving, not only did the money match my intentions, the money matched my intentions for when I was moving. Like, where are you getting this number from? This date? This doesn't make any sense, but you're upset at me because you understood or heard me wrong. And number two, you're upset at me because it's the whole me leaving the situation. Number one, like, why are you mad in this sense of like, it's very, very shifty. It's very, not shifty. It's very, like, are you kicking me out type of thing? That's what it feels like. And it's like, whatever, I don't really care about that. I mean, like, that's sus to begin with. It's more so that it just doesn't make sense. I can understand if I had said money and it was like up until like the 19th and bitch, I still wasn't out. And that means I still would owe money or whatever it is. Like, I understand that. That would make sense. Or like if I had said in the memo a certain date, that would make sense. But nothing is lining up to the random date that you fabricated in your head. And then when that wasn't enough, she then went on to say like, oh, well, I don't even know why you prorated it in the begin with. Like, bitch, I sent her $140. That's how much I sent her. Utilities are $150 a month. So you want $10. It's like, well, so that's what this is bothering me for. Like, it's eating away at me because it's like, what is this about? What is this about? Because if I couldn't have prorated this, why are you telling this the week of? Why are you telling this 3 weeks later? Because I was late last month for, the utility bill, and you most definitely charged me a 50-day late fee. So why are you just now telling me like this now? Like, obviously it wasn't a problem until now. So what is this really about? You see what I'm saying? I hate shit that doesn't make sense. I really, really hate shit that does not make sense. And I'm finding this more and more these days with people, not just her, not just this household. There's been other things that have occurred in this household that have just not made sense. But like, I can't do things that don't make fucking sense. And I don't, like, I'm not angry, honestly. Like, I honestly could care fucking less about what just transpired. But the part that the not making sense part, like when shit does not make sense, it bugs the fuck out of me. Like ruminations to the fucking highest degree. Like, I want to go upstairs and ask my stepmom, be like, how did you arrive to any of these conclusions logically? Because it doesn't make any sense. Like, it just genuinely doesn't make any sense. And then she was saying how, like, she thought that I was somehow gone, or like I was supposed to be gone, so she had thought I had left already. But it's like, if you had truly thought that, you would have seen a truck outside, probably with some people helping me move my shit out. There's a room wouldn't have shit in it. And if you were truly concerned, I don't know, maybe the day before I was supposed to leave, or like, maybe 2 days before I was supposed to leave, and you've noticed shit's not fully packed up, you would say something. Like, what? Like, this is like, that's what's really bugging me. It's like, what is this actually about? Because it's not about you somehow being confused. It's not about you being confused. Because I know you're not stupid. I know that. I know you're not stupid. So, because that would be idiotic. That would be stupid, right? If you're expecting someone to move out of your place, or like, move out of you have an arrangement with them and they're supposed to be moving out, and you're expecting them to move out on a certain date, and you live there, you also notice that the dog is still here, you notice that the shit is still, you notice that nothing's really changed. So it's like, what? Huh? Okay, and now I just looked at I just looked at her text message. She said last night was supposed to be my last night. That's what she understood. But upstairs, she said the 22nd. So the 20th, so it was never Monday. It was never Monday. I don't know why Monday got thrown into the equation. Or I was supposed to be gone by Monday. That's what I think she said. Today's the 22nd. Today's Sunday. So why in her text message is she saying yesterday, like I was supposed to be gone yesterday? It doesn't make any sense. But I can't. It's so hard to drop this because it doesn't matter. Like confrontation, the arguing, like I'm trying to be like the better person and like the bigger person and like just drop it. Because she even dropped the subject matter because I'm still here, bitch. That's what she said. And she's right. Like, I'm still here. It doesn't fucking matter. That's the point. And I told her the actual day and my actual plan. But my thing is that, like, it's the initial, like, anger, man. That's what sets me off. It's the initial annoyance, the initial irritation that's coming at me based off of something that doesn't make any sense. I could understand if I had said these things and things were lining up and making sense.